What's up? Welcome back to Nomad Remnant. We're going to have a little discussion about why the SHTF situation probably will never happen. At least not in the way that we've all thought it has. And kind of the only way it will happen is if there is a form of grid down or massive attack on the homeland, including nukes, bombs, and invasionary forces. And even then, our population, if you're in any remote size population center, our population centers are so large that there's not an easy way to control a large population. We look at the Red Dawn scenario, and it was like a really small town back in the 80s. Things were a lot smaller. The amount of people in a large area now, I mean, you can go look at like the George Floyd riots, right? Like, there's, once people decide in a large group they're not going to be controlled, they're most likely not going to be controlled. Now, our own citizens are something that you probably have to worry about more than anything else, right? When they decide they're not going to be controlled, are there citizens that might just start destroying neighborhoods and things like that? There's a good chance of that. A grid down situation, I don't see a grid down situation where they would leave the grid down for too long. The very weak and feeble people, they might have a hard time, right? Need to really rely on family members or neighbors in a situation like that. But the storing of years of food and where you can't get things, at this point, it's kind of just inflationary preparedness, because the amount of supply chain that we have in the modern world is pretty astronomical. The really only true form of preparedness is going to be having your own supply chain when it comes to food, water, and by that I mean health reasons, right? So I don't mean just having tons of water stored up, but it's, on a daily, are you drinking water that is not toxic to you? Are you drinking out of plastic bottles? What is your water quality like? What type of water are you showering in every day and bathing in? So that is a major form of preparedness, because what really circulates the mass of this preparedness level is physical capabilities and health. A healthy, strong, fit society is much scarier to whichever diabolical threat could be out there from powers above. So, are you taking care of your body? Are you fit? Level of preparedness, a little bit of food put back. I don't think you really need to go too crazy anymore with the level of preparedness. I do think having food storage is good, water storage is good. I still have those things. I just am not sure of a situation that could really go down where people aren't going to go to work and get their money, because what this system relies on for us is that people are chasing consumerism in their comforts, and that alone is going to push people to go to work, to cover the debts that are owed from, we know who they're owed by, right? Like, we know who controls our debt. So as long as they maintain that, the supply chain, the economy is never going to come to a stop, no matter how bad it gets. People are going to keep going, because that is their means of survival in the modern world, right? Like, without the government paying you, or you which I say the government, but even your private industry, like at this point, it's all circulated around the Federal Reserve dollar that we're all working for, these banknotes to buy things, goods and services. The true form of preparedness is absolutely off-grid, sustainable living. Food production, water production, hydroponics, or some type of fish that you can eat, cattle, chickens, and with the cost of that startup nowadays, it is extremely hard. Even with the smallest setup, it's extremely hard to get a fully sustainable life built, especially because our skill level of forging and being able to do with things that are just around you in nature, that knowledge has greatly diminished. Of our knowledge of being able to find medicines out of herbs and plants and forging, being able to produce your own apothecaries, being able to, that information is the highest form of individual liberty and personal freedom, is free from having to rely on the banknotes to go buy the things that you need. And really what drove a lot of those capabilities in the past was manpower. Manpower and time. Our manpower is being absorbed by the current economy, and our time is also eaten up by, as you know, countless things that are not involved in building that network. And the older you get, without living that lifestyle, you have lost a lot of those tricks and trades that someone who's being raised in that lifestyle would develop and be passed down certain pieces of information. So the oral traditions of this survivalism are far and few between. Now, when it comes to being like the Minuteman, the prepared citizen, it is absolutely your calling as an American to always be ready in that regard, because evil knows no bounds and it can strike at any time, anywhere. So that being said, it's you must, to be a protector in our society, you absolutely must carry a handgun, carry some emergency medical equipment on you, to be prepared for an emergency situation that is life-threatening. All right, so we found a spot. But yes, being prepared on the daily, absolute must. Some medical, multi-tools, your daily preparedness, jumper cables for your car, just things to anticipate bad situations that can happen, because bad situations happen every day. Getting into the Minuteman thing, so you don't need a lot. You need skills and proficiency above all things. Fitness, skills, and proficiency. Your tools are good to have, good quality tools, but things that just function and work and are reliable are going to be good enough for whatever situation could happen. Having a rifle that you could train with, that you can rely on, so that you can practice with the same weapon over and over and over again. I do think it is important to have a backup of whatever you have, but with a few Glocks and a couple rifles, and some basic kit, an assault belt, a war belt, depending on whichever label that we call it nowadays, but a belt that can hold a pistol and medical and some magazines and maybe a knife. Very important, I think, to have is your belt kit is number one, and a way to carry magazines, a chest rig or plate carrier. I just feel like, thinking about things that I've considered in this preparedness space for multiple years now, I think that the most important things are going to be your fitness, your first line of defense tools, medical, your everyday carry pistol, your training pistol. They could be both of the same thing. Having a good quality rifle, but before all things is going to be your fitness and your health. If you are not healthy, you're not going to do very well in emergency situations. You are actually 100% a liability. And that's not to disbar or discourage anyone who is having health problems, because you probably have knowledge and other things to be able to add, or even labor to where you're not exerting yourself to the level of degree someone else has to. But every hand in an emergency is a helpful hand. So just make do with what you can. Try to take care of your health. Recently, I lost 40 pounds. Now I've put on about 10 more pounds of muscle. About a total of 30 pounds lost, plus a lot more muscle, because it's been a lot easier to build muscle when you have lost all that weight. Because now I can do things like dips and pull-ups and things that help build muscle, because I'm not carrying a bunch of extra body fat that's slowing me down and not allowing me to train to the level of capacity that I can train at now. So with that being said, guys, just wanted to basically encourage anyone out there who feels like maybe you're not as prepared as you'd like to be. If you have a way to filter water, a backpack, decent shoes, you have a rifle, you have a reliable handgun, like, just make sure you have all the things to take care of what you do have. Make sure you have a good holster for everyday carry. Make sure you have reliable things that support your main lifelines. And that would be, your main lifeline, for example, is your body, is the capabilities within it, and that support system is your health and fitness. So I just wanted to kind of talk about some of this stuff, because I feel like we're maybe past a certain day and age, a little bit of the super scary prepared prepper channels. But I think the work that has to be done is much harder than buying products. It is going to be your daily routine, your health, your fitness. So guys, with that being said, always keep training. Always fully rely on Jesus Christ, because we live in an absolute fallen world to where the only true savior in this world is going to be Jesus Christ. And with that being said, guys, just stay after it. Keep being men of honor. Take care of your families, and strive to be the best guy that you can be, and realize that you're not going to be a better dude because you buy more expensive products or you buy a million more products. Once you have the basics, it's fully reliant on you to be the best that you can be. So yeah, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, those who are returning, who supported this channel a long time, I really appreciate you guys. This channel is sponsored by Telhart Handmade Knives. Go check out telharthandmade.com. Just a phenomenal person, makes phenomenal American-made products, very skilled knife maker. And also the Armsman holsters. To give you an update about the armsman.com, he is revamping his website in total. So if the website's down or anything like that, hit him up on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram. If you need a holster, make sure you get a good concealed carry holster. And shout out to super amazing channel sponsors like Drew in Oregon, Kurt24, Hot Dog 990. You guys have been a blessing to this channel, and I just really want to thank everybody else that hits that like button, subscribes to the channel, and I hope you enjoy some more content. We got a lot of things coming your way. Also, those are the people who are in New York right now, where you're being gassed out by California wildfires. Go to Mirror Safety, pick you up a gas mask, use code NOMAD, and and at least have just a face respirator or something from them in case the air quality conditions can threaten your health. So health first, fitness, training. Stick with those things, guys. And this is your brother over at Nomad Remnant. We'll see you on the next one. Over and out.